My name is Blake Plonsky. They call me Poochie. That's my nickname. I inherited that. Was my father's nickname. I've been working for Morgan Rose since 2009. I like to stay in one place. Morgan's awesome to work for. I only work for iconic drummers, so I've only worked really for 2 drummers. I worked for Stephen Perkins with Jane's Addiction before Morgan. I've did some favor friend things. I did Ginger Fish with Marilyn Manson in 2008 for 8 weeks to cover for a buddy of mine. I did Sully from Godsmack for 2 weeks last year while we were off. I prefer to work for people like Morgan, one, because they're a lot cooler and it's easier to get the products you need to be able to make their lives easier up here. You know, like if I need drumsticks today, I know I can call Chad and they will be here tomorrow, no matter what. I don't abuse the companies. I don't ask for stuff we don't need. It smells like deer guts when you bend down right here. I got into this because when I quit playing music, no, actually I was still playing music. I used to play music, used to play drums a little bit, and there was this guy named Stephen Perkins that I met on a random deal because a guy asked me to take the van that I had. I moved to California, and if I could go and pick up a set of drums for this guy that was doing an all-star jam. I had no idea who it was, whatever. I knew who Stephen Perkins was, and I got the directions. I drove to this dude's house, and Perkins answered the door, and I brought those drums down to that venue, and it had nothing to do with drum teching, just a delivery. And I happened to have this magazine that was in the van that one of the other guys in my band had, and had a picture of Perkins in a DW ad sitting in front of a drum set. So out of boredom, I just kind of put his drums together for him. They weren't in cases or anything, they were just a pile of hardware and some drums. So I started putting it together, and when he showed up, he said, "Man, who put these drums together?" I said, "I did. I hope you're not mad." And he goes, "No, man, it's perfect." And he played them just as they were, and he asked me if I'd be interested in working for him because he plays like 5 nights a week around LA. You know, he's got a bunch of little side bands, cover bands, stuff like that. He's always playing. And so I became his tech doing that. And then it came time they did a band called the Panic Channel. We did that, and it was awesome. So I did that for a while. And during that time, I also worked for legendary record producer Ross Robinson. And, you know, I started working there as a motorcycle mechanic for him. And that led to becoming a drum tech for him in the studio, and led to being his personal assistant. I was with Ross for, I think, 7 years. So I spent a lot of time doing drums, and I learned about drums from numerous engineers that we worked with, you know, A-list guys that, you know, they've seen other people come, and I kind of took everybody's technique, put it together, revamped it, and came up with my own technique and way of doing things. You know, people see me tuning the drums, I'm licking my finger and doing that. A guy by the name of Steve Evans, which is famous for Dillinger Escape Plan, Every Time I Die, bands like that. He was our engineer on a record. He did the Cure record with us. And that's how he tuned drums. And actually we did that with a piano, tuned it to a piano. Out here in live, it's not that important because the front of house guys are gonna jack it up, make it sound how they want anyway. They just don't want it to have a wobble, which is when, you know, a couple lugs will be out there, whoa, 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 like that. So you want it to just have a smooth tone to it. So I worked for Ross for all that time and learned all these techniques, combined them together, and went from there. And next thing you know, I'm sitting at home. I was done with music, done with California. I said, I'm going home, I'm going hunting, I'm going fishing, I'm going to spend time with my family, and I'm done with music. So I'm sitting there, and then I get a phone call, and it's Morgan, which I've met Morgan throughout the years, you know, through music or whatever. And he said, "Man, I need a drum tech, and you're the only dude I could think of that knows how to run these machines." Well, being a studio guy and a drummer, I know how to run Pro Tools, DP, Logic, all the various programs. I can program drum machines, drum modules. It doesn't matter what brand. It's easy, it's common sense. And I do his monitors from back here. It's a lot more convenient. That way I don't have to run back and forth whenever something's wrong. You know, if he wants or needs more click or you know, can't hear a guitar, instead of me having to run to monitors, you know, sometimes it's hard to get there. We just got this iPad that's connected to the console, so I can actually control this whole monitor console if I needed to. He'll actually come get it and do his, check his downstage wedges and stuff with it. But that's a cool thing to have. So if you can afford that and you work for a drummer, get it. But a lot of guys don't do that. A lot of guys do one or the other. So he asked me, he said, man, I got these 4 shows for this Christmas run. I just need you to do these 4 shows. I said, okay, I'll only do 4 shows. So that was in 2009. And some kind of way he convinced me that I needed to stay here, so I've been here ever since. And Sevendust tours more than any other band on the planet. And it's, I'm grateful for the work, but miserable all the time. And now I'm so miserable, I'm not even miserable anymore. So that's kind of my story. And now it's 2013. We just released a new album, Black Out the Sun. I think it's the highest charting single and record sales since record sales went away and it went to iTunes. So it's good times over here. We're all still broke. And yeah, rock and roll. I'll give you the plus and minus to his stick. It's called the Alien Freak drumstick. These got special ink printing on them. They come green in the store, but kind of match the drum set. I'm weird like that. The plus side to the stick and the design of the stick was solely being a kid and tip breaks off, flip it backwards, play with the other end. So Morgan, I think Morgan was genius for deciding to do this, because you get basically 4 sticks instead of 2 when you buy a pair of these. Durability, I honestly cannot tell you, because he keeps a pair of sticks in his hands for less than a song.
I go through more gear than anybody that is on the roster at Vater. I'm sure they'll be jealous. I won't even say a number, but I go through a lot of sticks, and it's not because they break. It's because I'm a buffoon and I throw sticks around the stage like an idiot. But they've always got those sticks there for me, and they're amazing people.
They don't chip up. I don't know, man. They seem to be good sticks. I mean, I'm more about the service than the actual product on some things. This right here seems to be a really good stick. I mean, didn't break, so seems like it's good. Watch it. Like them tight, gotta get them tight. All the sticks in the stick bag have to be logo down, so when he pulls it out, the logo is at the end of the stick and the left hand has to be in his hand. I don't know, just weird like that. So what I'll do is I'll start him out with just a brick in there, and then we'll see where, I'll check on him in the middle of the night, and sometimes I gotta break him some more sticks out. Started working with Morgan Rose and realized he had a lot of stands, a lot of hardware. So I said, well, after the last the Cold Day Memory tour, I was gonna try to build a rack that actually looked cool, that didn't look like an 80s rack, or like, my boy Ray Lazier got a weird ass rack, but it's too big. I didn't want to set that up every day, so I wanted to do something like, low rider. So I came up, I cut this down, put it low. He had stands, and I think I had 16 stands total. And it was just a lot of stuff to do every day. And I don't know, they move around. Even though they were locked into the riser, they would move around. The band guys would come up on the riser, they'd pull them, whatever. So I decided I'd build a rack, thinking it'd be quicker. And by doing that, I just started adding more and more stuff to it and changing it up. But its configuration has been the same probably for 15 years. Kick, snare, rack, 2 floors, that's his main thing, his 4 crashes. Other than that, anything else, he'll play it. You can put anything up here, he'll play it. If he doesn't play it, I take it off, and I've never had to take anything off that I put up here. So that's it for the drums. As far as building them, I spent about 3 months at my shop in Louisiana building this, and it only took that long because I did it whenever I didn't have anything better to do, like racing motorcycles, hunting, fishing. Yeah. Oh, I play golf too. Anybody want to play golf? Watch it. Everything is like routine, and they got a name for that. The other guys in the crew call it something that most people take medicine for, but I don't do that. So like right now, my routine's a little whack just because y'all are here, but we'll get it done. I might forget something, and he'll probably scream at me, and I'll smile back at him, and it'll be okay. Drums gotta look good. It's the centerpiece of the stage. Always remember to take pride in what you do. And that's serious. It's more enjoyable that way. Things I hate the most is when the band decides to cut songs out the set list, because I don't think they really know how much time and effort we put into, making it right to where they don't have to worry about it, but we do. We work about 16 hours a day. Wake up, start work at 11, sometimes 10, and we're usually done about between 2 and 3 in the morning, and that's every day. And then, sometimes we share a bus with the band, so it's band and crew on the same bus. So sometimes, the band might want to, hang out, have a good time after the concert, and the crew, you can either some join them, and some, just have to hang out, because sometimes you can't really get to sleep, with the, the parties going on and stuff like that. But it's good times. Everybody knows what they're getting into when they sign up to work in rock and roll. It's definitely not the 80s. And luckily for us, our guys aren't 20 years old anymore, so it makes it a little bit easier. Keep the peace, sanity.